Howdy, y'all. This is Rhett Miller, and you're watching 101.9 KINK Radio in the Skype Live studio.
Rhett Miller, he's got a new album out called The Traveler, playing a show tonight at Mississippi Studio. It's a pretty cool guitar strumming move you got there.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's my it's my patented move.
Are you double jointed, or is that?
No, it's so much easier than people think. You know, it's an optical illusion because it's not really my arm's not like going all the way around like that chick on The Exorcist's head or something. It's kind of spinning around a little bit.
I imagine you're really good at the robot.
No. All it's funny though, because the way we're recording this, there's a mic in front of my guitar, and I can't not dance. But I realized that this kind of these stage moves have a lot in common with Latin dancing, where your upper body doesn't move, but then everything below the waist is going crazy. So I got to keep the guitar in one place, so the microphone is always on it. So I'm pretty good at that kind of dancing, but not so much the robot. No.
So the new album, The Traveler, you did it with Black Prairie.
Portland-based band, Black Prairie, yeah.
And recorded in Portland.
Recorded in Portland at Jackpot Studios. You know who else appeared on it? It was the mayor of Portland, Peter Buck. Yeah, the unofficial mayor.
Yeah, I wish he was the mayor of Portland.
I wish. Yeah.
It's a write-in candidate. So how long did that take you to record? It sounded like it was kind of a spontaneous album.
It was very quick. I mean, the way Black Prairie works, and I really love this about them because they've played together for so long, and they've got such a shorthand and such a sort of telepathic communication that works between them. They work very quickly, you know, and so we did it all in about 7 or 8 days, and we did it pretty much live off the floor. We had Peter come in later and do a bunch of guitar parts that were really great, and Scott McCoy helped him, another great Portlander. Annalisa Tornfelt, who is sort of the the sweet bird of youth in that band Black Prairie. She plays fiddle and sings on all the songs. So her backup vocals had to get laid down after the fact because it would be too messy to try and record those live. But almost everything else you hear, my vocals, all the band, the rhythm section, Ginny Connolly's accordion and piano, all that stuff is pretty much done right there live on the floor. Chris Funk, who produced the record and plays, like most of those guys in the Decemberists as well. Chris, he did some dobro after the fact too, but that was just because he wanted to be able to be free to boss us around while we were recording.
So working with like Decemberists, Chris Funk and Jenny Connolly and someone as
John Moen and Nate Query. I mean,
what's that like? I mean, how do you make such cool friends?
I get really lucky, and that's what I love about music. When I was in high school, I started doing gigs. I guess I was 15 years old. So I got into it, and I was a teen folkie, so I was solo. But what I loved about it was everywhere I'd go, I'd be playing on bills with people that I really liked personally. Musically, yeah, but also personally. I really loved the world of music, and it's all about friendship and collaboration and camaraderie and staying up late after the gig. A lot of times you're waiting for the club owner to pay you. He's not always on the inside loop of the friendship circle, but the club owner is part of it, part of the deal. But so I really loved that, and so when I got to do a week in the Northeast with Black Prairie, I was doing solo gigs and they were opening the show. And so it's a little weird to have like a 5-piece, 6-piece band playing before a solo guy. And Funk had reached out to me ahead of time and said, hey, we'd be willing to play some songs with you, which was, I didn't even realize what a godsend it was, but it was so great to have them come up and join me at the end of my set every night. And we'd do 6 or 7 songs together. And just the power that a band that's that tight-knit and that's played together for that long and they're so good on their instruments, just the power that makes on stage is so great. And I realized during that run, like, I'll do anything to get in the studio with these guys. So it took a couple of years to make it happen, but I felt like this batch of songs was so perfect, and it turned out even better than I'd hoped once we finally got in there. I really love Black Prairie.
So are you traveling now with Black Prairie?
Well, I've got Annalisa, and Annalisa Tornfeld's on the whole West Coast run with me. And she was going to do the Northeast, but schedules didn't work out. John Neufeld played last night with us in Seattle, and he's going to be playing tonight with us at Mississippi Studios. He's the guitar player in Black Prairie. And his solo, the very first song on the record, is called Wanderlust. And there's an acoustic guitar solo that happens in there that is so mind-blowing that I've had tons of musician friends, like hardened musicians who are unimpressed by everything. They'll come up and go, dude, who did that solo? Was that like one take? Did you somehow piece that together? I'm like, no, and John Neufeld just sat there and played it. He didn't even think it was that great. He's like, yeah, that solo was pretty good. My mind was, on the floor, and I couldn't believe it. So, yeah, I'm pretty lucky. I'm a pretty lucky dude.
Does the album name The Traveler have any significance?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think about these things too much, maybe. Sequencing the album is something I lose sleep over. Album titles. I have a little bit of OCD. I've got The Instigator, The Believer, The Dreamer, The Interpreter. The one thing, if I could go back in a time machine, I had one solo record that I called just Rhett Miller. And man, if I could go back, I would have put the word "the" in front of it. Just
The Rhett Miller.
The Rhett Miller. Yeah. It's even got an ER on the
Experience.
end of it. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like The Traveler, I've done a lot of, the 97's record that came out last year was for some reason like our best received record we've ever released. So we worked really hard last year behind that. And so when this record was being made and when the songs were being written, I was traveling a lot. I think there's also something thematic. I think in the songs there's a lot of hotels and there's a lot of just there's trains and cars and all that stuff. But there's also kind of a lot of themes of past lives and a lot of themes of moving in and out of love relationships. So I felt like it worked on a few different levels.
All right, before I leave you alone, update on the old 97s. You guys still making more music together?
Yeah, I'm writing like crazy. I'm hoping that at the end of this year we'll be going into the studio to make a new record. I've got 4 songs I'm in love with already, and then about 20 songs that could be good enough, but I'm holding them to a higher standard. So yeah, of course, we're like sharks. If we don't, keep swimming, we die.
Excellent. Well, new album's called The Traveler, playing tonight at Mississippi Studios. Give it up again for Rhett Miller.